The US troops were on the verge of entering the battlefield when fierce artillery fire struck them abruptly. A jeep was blown up instantly, and many soldiers lost their lives before they could react. Overpowered by the firepower, the troops abandoned their vehicles and fled. Watching the intense shelling, Cage was confused. The Japanese artillery positions on Saipan were supposed to have been destroyed by battleships, so how could they still attack? Tracking the shell's direction, he realized it was their own comrade's mistake. Cage told the radio operator to contact the rear, but their only communication device was already destroyed. Worse still, a Japanese ambush awaited ahead, trapping the US soldiers. With no choice, they attacked the Japanese. At that moment, the Japanese soldiers hidden in the trees seized the opportunity and kept sniping at the approaching US troops. Cage took the lead, grabbing his submachine gun and firing wildly at the Japanese in the trees. Yet under their own artillery fire, US soldiers in the middle of the battlefield kept falling. One soldier, attempting to rescue a wounded comrade, was hit by the artillery fire the next second. Cage knew that if this continued, their entire squad would be wiped out. They had to contact their comrades shelling from the rear immediately. Just then, the radio operator, Yazi, looked at the dead Japanese soldier and came up with an excellent idea. He told Cage that with his Asian, resembling face, he could put on a Japanese military uniform, pretend to be a Japanese soldier, sneak into their position, and then seize the radio. Although Cage thought it was risky, it was indeed a relatively feasible plan, so he decided to go along with Yazi. Cage hid a pistol behind Yazi's back and let him take him hostage as they walked towards the Japanese position, while their comrades launched a charge to cover their plan. As several Japanese soldiers approached to avoid suspicion, Yazi punched Cage to the ground. When the Japanese saw this, they rushed up and started beating him. Cage took the opportunity to get behind Yazi, pulled out the hidden pistol, and eliminated the few Japanese soldiers in front of him one by one. Then Cage rushed towards the Japanese command post. After dealing with the Japanese inside, his pistol ran out of bullets, so he immediately picked up a machine gun and started firing wildly at the Japanese in the trenches. Using the Japanese equipment, they successfully got in touch with the US Artillery Battalion and provided them with the coordinates of the Japanese on the hill. Upon receiving the news, the artillery promptly adjusted their firing angles and opened fire, instantly covering the Japanese trenches with explosion flames. After the battle, Cage was commended by the superior for his outstanding military achievements. However, he knew it wasn't solely his credit. When he introduced Yazi to the superior, the moment the superior heard that Yazi was a Native American, his face showed instant disgust. Without bothering to offer a few words of praise, he just turned around and left. Nevertheless, Yazi still expressed his gratitude to Cage. That night, the two drank together, and the friendship forged on the battlefield made them brothers. Early the next morning, this US military squad continued to move forward. When they found a local village and planned to take a good rest, to their surprise, a large number of Japanese soldiers suddenly emerged.